Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we have 9 more fun and overpowered builds for you in Elden Ring. A lot of these are build requests. I think 6 or 7 of them are, and a couple random ones in here as well. We're going to start with an Eruption Giant Crusher build. This is one of my favorite ones on here. It absolutely slaps, does a ton of fire damage. We're going to talk about this one now. So the cool thing about the Eruption Giant Crusher is, in Flame Art Affinity, you'll get a C in Strength scaling and a B in Faith scaling. So you can do this as a Strength Faith build with a lot of damage. You're going to get, if you do this exact setup, between 900 and 950 AR on the Giant Crusher, a lot of fire damage, and the Eruption Ash of War seems to be boosted by the Talisman of Dread as well. I tested it. It does a lot of damage now, Eruption, if you can land all of it, especially when you're using a big weapon like the Giant Crusher. Yeah, this is one of my favorites for sure. This is an awesome one. Love the fire damage. Love the strength faith scaling that you get with the Giant Crusher. It's really perfect for strength and faith. When we're two-handing this, we're getting 60 strength. We have 50 faith. We'll go over stats, equipment, everything you need to know. And of course, we're getting a lot of fire, magma damage, etc. All that awesome stuff that you get with the Eruption Ash of War. And if you wanted to throw in some incantations, you can throw in some as well. 50 Faith is decent. It's not going to be incredible in terms of damage, but it's not going to be bad either. Faith and Strength, certainly an incredibly powerful way to play Elden Ring. Really cool one. I recommend checking this one out because it's one of the ones I had the most fun with on here. Honestly, I highly recommend trying this, especially if you like Strength and Faith, which is a really good way to do your stats for Elden Ring anyway. There's the Eruption Ash of War. Lots of fun with this one. Does a good amount of poise damage too. Let's jump into equipment. We have the Flame Art Giant Crusher, plus 25 preferably with Eruption. We have the Giant Seal. You can check out our armor set here. We were able to hit 51 poise, despite a high equipment load. Talisman of the Dread, Arsenal Charms plus 1, or Great Jar's Arsenal if you have it. Fire Scorpion Charm, Shard of Alexander. And then for our tiers, we have the Flame tier, Blood Sucking Correct tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats on this one, we have 55 Vigor, 21 Mind, 33 Endurance, 40 Strength is going to be 60 when you two-hand the Giant Crusher, 50 Faith, Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, Blessing Spoon, and any fire incantations you want to add. Next up here, we have a Carian Slicer tank build. This was a direct build request. Somebody wanted a build that uses just Carian Slicer and can, of course, tank hits. Now, we're going to have a weapon as well that uses Glintstone Pebble Ash of War. This is a little bit of a hard one to pull off initially, but once you realize how much damage you can take and then dish out with Carian Slicer, because you don't need a lot of buffs, we're not adding much faith or anything here. We're going to be mainly just using the Golden Vow, Ash of War, and Terra Magica. You'll still get great damage from Carian Slicer, and of course, we're able to take a good amount of damage too. And we're using Boiled Crab as well as the Golden Vow Ash of War, and then we have the Opaline Hards here. That combination, those three right there, is going to give you over 50% physical damage reduction. So that's awesome. You're going to have that for at least a minute during your fights. Of course, you can use Boiled Crab at any time as well. Golden Vow Ash of War is only going to be about 45 seconds. So while they don't last long, the buffs are really good in terms of taking damage. If you could reactivate them during the fight, that would be great. Boiled Crab is really easy to use during the fight. The Golden Vow Ash of War is a little bit harder to use. But with all that said, you're going to be able to tank hits and dish out a good amount of damage because Carian Slicer is ridiculous. It's one of the best sorceries in the game, and running it as a tank build actually worked better than I thought it would. This is Journey 4 New Game Plus 3, and we're still able to get a substantial amount of damage while taking a good amount of hits too. And now we switch to the Glintstone Pebble Ash of War. I wanted to have a weapon with something as well. You could use whatever you want in this case. You could even use something like Ice Spear if you wanted to add that to this as well. We're a magic build, of course, so you get the magic scaling if you go for magic affinity. Cold affinity wouldn't necessarily work because that's going to add in different stats. We're mainly an intelligence and endurance build here. Let's jump into equipment and stats. We have Lucett's Glintstone Staff plus 10, Golden Vow Ash of War and a Dagger, Magic Broadsword with Glintstone Pebble plus 25 preferably, Carian Glintstone Staff in the offhand, Solitude set on with the Night Helm. That gives us 90 poise. Arsenal Charms plus 1, or Great Jar's Arsenal, Graven Mass Talisman, Magic Scorpion Charm, Shard of Alexander. We're using Boiled Crab. Apparently in this clip, I forgot to show the tiers. It's the Magic and the Opaline Hard tier. Let's talk about stats. And we have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 35 Endurance, 12 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 65 Intelligence. The 14 Faith is from my starting class, Terra Magica, Carian Slicer, and of course we hit 90 poise. And next up, we have one, I don't even think I've ever covered this before, and that is Lifesteal Fist. This is a really cool one where if you go up to an NPC invader or any of the humanoid-like enemies, you can use this Ash of War on them and heal yourself. It's kind of like a vampire build, a little bit of one. And for this, I decided to use the Peta or Pata, whatever you say it, I'm not sure. And it's pretty awesome overall. We have it in Blood Affinity for some bleed build-up as well. And of course, the damage on the Ash is pretty good. I don't know how many PvP players are going to use this one, but this was a direct build request. Speaking of build requests, if you have any more build requests, be sure to comment them below so I know and can make them. I really enjoy doing these videos. A couple of the other ones that are going to take me an extra second, like the Obsidian Lamina and a few of the other ones, a couple of the caster builds that were a little bit complicated. I'm going to do them this upcoming week, so definitely look forward to that. Anything else that you have, though, build request wise, be sure to comment below. I'm adding a lot to my list lately, and it's been really fun making these. Had a lot of fun actually with Lifesteal Fist because this is not an Ash of War that I use very frequently. Want to mention one downside that I don't like about it. After you use Lifesteal Fist, for some reason the animation of them getting up takes a long time and gives them a lot of iframes. It's happened several times when I tried it with different enemies, and it is a little bit annoying not being able to hit them while they're on the ground that much. In this case, I wasn't really able to build up bleed too much with successive hits after they were recovering. You really can't do too much until they're back up. It seemed to be a consistent thing with Lifesteal Fist. They have a little bit of a longer animation. But overall, if you're able to get in hits too, we've got some bleed build up, which is really cool on the Pater Epata, and it gives you a decent amount of range for a fist weapon as well. Hard to land this though. He took me about 4 tries. It took me a little bit to get used to using this Ash of War. This was not, again, an Ash of War that I really ever used much before or looked into. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely affected by the Shard of Alexander. Tested that as well. It gives you health back, which is awesome. Gives you a decent amount of damage too. It's not something you have to overly buff or anything. Does go well with blood or occult affinity. In the case of these, since they don't have innate bleed, I'm going to go for blood affinity for that bleed build up. It's around 100 or so. And because we can hit relatively quick, you can build up bleed fast as well. I end up getting, I think, 1 or 2 bleed procs throughout the fight. I was mainly trying to use the Ash of War though. Still, this is a pretty cool one overall. Highly recommend trying this out just for fun. If you have an extra larval tear and you want to try something fun that's kind of like a vampire type build, this is pretty cool to use. Or if you really just want to beat up on some NPC invaders or try this in PvP. Let's jump into equipment, stats, everything you need to know for this build. And we have the Blood Pater Epata plus 25 with Lifesteal Fist. We have the Dragon Communion Seal. You can check out our armor set here. We have 63 poise. We have the White Mask, Shard of Alexander, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Millicent's Prosthesis, Wingsword Insignia or Rotten Wingsword Insignia is better if you have it, Thorny Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Let's jump into stats. And we have 60 Vigor, 18 Mind, 25 Endurance, 12 Strength, 45 Dexterity, 40 Arcane, 25 Faith, Breeze, and Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessing's Boon for this build. Next one up here is kind of an absurd build in terms of damage, more than I expected. This is going to be a little bit of a different build for Venomous Fang. Somebody wanted to build for Venomous Fang. I've already covered it in the Blood and Poison Affinity. When you put it in Blood Affinity, you can get both Bleed build up and Poison build up. So here, we went for Heavy Affinity because it gives you an A in Strength Scaling. And then we, of course, have the Poison build up that's innate on it, which is pretty good. It's good enough. And then we're using Royal Knight's Resolve. We have over 450 AR. You can do a lot of damage with light and charge attacks. Seriously, this one ended up impressing me a lot. Check this out right here with the charge attack. 6,400 damage. This is not bad at all. I know that's Godric, but still, it's still Journey 4, so he took a lot of damage from that. That was definitely a surprise. If you build up on successive hits and you add in some charge hits with Royal Knight's Resolve, you get both hits with Royal Knight's Resolve when you're using a fist weapon. Both of them hit, and then it goes off, so you'll be able to get pretty much a good amount of damage every time with the charge attacks. Successive hits are really good too, of course, building that up and building the poison as well. Let's jump into equipment here in a second, stats, everything you need to know. We have the Heavy Venomous Fang, plus 25 preferably with Royal Knight's Resolve, any seal for buffs. You can check out our armor set here. This is a pretty cool one. We have 54 poise for this build. Millicent's Prosthesis, Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, Wingsword Insignia or Rotten Wingsword Insignia if you have it, Axe Talisman, Thorny Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Of course, you could add the Mushroom Crown. I just didn't feel like it. It's kind of goofy looking. 60 Vigor, 19 Mind, 27 Endurance, 65 Strength, 20 Dexterity, 25 Faith. We are using Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessing's Boon. Next up, another build request. Somebody wanted a dual Greataxe build. It's a really cool one that I decided to do with Spinning Weapon, or Spinning Slash, I believe it is. My bad, I said Spinning Weapon. On 1, which is going to do a lot of poise damage and physical damage. Gives you a chance to get some successive hits and build up, by the way, with the bigger weapon, which is cool. And then the offhand one is the Executioner's Greataxe with Wild Strike. So you have 2 really good Ashes of War. And of course, you can do a lot of damage with our jump attacks too. And we're running this pretty much as a pure strength build. It's really cool running dual Greataxes. Definitely recommend this one. Let's jump into equipment. And we have the Heavy Greataxe, plus 25 preferably. We have the Executioner's Greataxe, plus 25. Spinning Slash on the first one. The second one has Wild Strikes. Any seal for buffs, we have the Gray Bird chest piece on. That's the most important piece there. Shard of Alexander, Arsenal Charms +1 or Great Char's Arsenal. Millicent's Prosthesis, Claw Talisman. And then for our tiers, we have the Thorny tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. We're using Sleeping Pots there to stun the Godskin Apostle. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 33 Endurance, 60 Strength. We have 17 Dexterity, 25 Faith. For our buffs, we're using Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessings Boon again. And next up here, we have one of my favorite ones on here, and that is the Faith Katana. Somebody was looking for a Faith Katana build, decided to do one that uses Sacred Blade on both, gives you a lot of successive attack damage buildup, pretty good Ash of War, over 700 AR on each weapon, and we have the starting Katana as well as the Nagakiba as our weapons. This all around is an awesome one. They're going to give you good Faith scaling as well. And honestly, this is probably my second favorite on the list with the Eruption build. You know me, I really like the Faith builds, of course. This one does a lot of damage too. Of course, I can really only recommend this for the early game, mid game, and then the DLC. Not the late base game because it's pure holy damage, but you could always switch to Flame Art Affinity and just run the Fire Scorpion Charm and Fire tier instead with the exact same stats. You really don't have to change anything whatsoever. So a little bit of slowdown and a frame drop here after they did the small patch update with the bug fixes. This was actually the first build I jumped on and tested and did, and for some reason my game was running slow. I ended up resetting it, jumping back in, and none of the other clips were really an issue from there. But since that was a one-try Rolana where I was able to stack a lot of damage, I wanted to show that one. Let's jump into equipment in a second. Stats, everything you need to know for a really cool Holy Katana Warrior build. Let's jump into everything you need to know now. There's Sacred Blade, which we're going to show off the AR when we go over equipment. It is quite impressive. Let's jump into equipment. We have the Sacred Nagakiba, +25 preferably with Sacred Blade, with Sacred Uchi Katana, +25 preferably with Sacred Blade also. Erdtree Seal. Check out the armor set here. It's pretty cool. The helm, Haligtree Helm, will give you 2 more faith, so that's pretty cool. Shard of Alexander, Sacred Scorpion Charm, Millicent's Prosthesis. We have the Claw Talisman. For our tiers, we got the Thorny tier, Holy tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats on this one, we have 60 Vigor, 23 Mind, 28 Endurance, 18 Strength, 27 Dexterity, 62 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Howlish Brewery, and then we've got Blessings of the Erdtree for some extra HP as well. Next up here, we have another really cool one. This is the Godskin Stitcher dual build. Somebody was looking for 2 of these. Last week, I covered one of them. This is a Power Stance build with 2 of them. They're both in Flame Art Affinity. I'm going to tell you the reason why right now. It's because they get a B in Fate scaling. I actually didn't know that. I don't use heavy thrusting swords that much. That's why you'll notice I get beat up a little bit here. Dragon was one try after all, but still, I do get beat up some because I really am not used to the slower thrusting sword moveset. But with all that said, they do a lot of damage. In Flame Art Affinity, you're going to have probably over 700 AR in total once the fire's coated on them. I think it's actually close to 8. Good amount of damage with them overall. And of course, you're a Faith build with a B in Faith scaling on the weapon. So you have a lot of versatility if you want to add in incantations to this build too. You could do that, of course. And of course, since we're showing off a battle that's going to take like a minute, well, not much that longer, not too much longer, but overall, pretty cool build. I just want to mention again real quick, I appreciate everybody that's been following these videos. Thank you guys so much for tuning in weekly. It's been absolutely awesome. If you have any more build requests, definitely comment them below. I've got a list that's gotten a lot bigger lately because a lot of you guys have come through with requests, which is awesome. I'm going to do some of the harder ones next week. I had a bit of a bad month. I was sick and then not sick, and then I ended up getting sick again and having to go back to the doctors, unfortunately. So yeah, it's been a bad couple of weeks this past couple of weeks, but it is what it is. I'm starting to feel better finally, which is good, and I'm looking forward to getting back on and doing more content. And for those of you that are sticking with me, just want to say I appreciate you and thank you so much. Be sure to comment if there's any builds you want to see for Elden Ring or anything you want to see for Night Rain too, because I'm going to be hopping back on Night Rain very soon as well. Let's jump into equipment, stats, everything you need to know. And we have 2 Flame Art Godskin Stitchers, +25 preferably. We have 1 with Flame Spear, 1 with Flaming Strike. The code is awesome on these. We have the Giant Seal. You can check out our armor set here. We have 53 Poise. Shard of Alexander. We have the Godfrey Icon. We have the Fire Scorpion Charm. We have Millicent's Prosthesis. Really good setup here for this. We got the Flame tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. And for our stats, we have 60 Vigor, 23 Mind, 27 Endurance, 14 Strength, 17 Dexterity, 75 Faith. We have Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, Blessings Boon, and of course we hit 53 Poise here too. And next up here, we have a Roaring Axes build. Another request was for smaller axes, a dual build. This is going to use one that has a roar on it. We're going to be using Braggart's Roar and Blood Affinity. See the bleed proc there. Get a lot of damage with it. If you two-hand it, of course, you're going to get more damage. But the offhand, I have Chilling Mist for some jump attacks and for the dual moveset. So you can go from roars if you want a two-hand or not. That's up to you. And then switch back to the dual axes, and you'll get a good amount of bleed and frost build up. There's the frost proc there. We had the bleed proc earlier. Overall, not a bad way to run two axes. Highland Axe also will boost the damage on the roar, so it's kind of the perfect combination here. And the Warped Axe gets an awesome A in Blood Affinity for strength scaling. We have the Blood Warped Axe plus 25, preferably Braggart's Roar. We have the Highland Axe with Chilling Mist, Cold Affinity, any seal for buffs. We have the Greybird's chest piece on. You could slow this down on YouTube side if you want to see the armor sets. Roar Medallion, Axe Talisman, Claw Talisman, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, and then for our tiers, we got the Spike Crack tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's talk about stats. And we have 60 Vigor, 18 Mind, 27 Endurance, 35 Strength, Silver 50 if you two-hand the Warped Axe, 40 Arcane, 25 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Flame Grimming Strength, and Blessing's Boon for some HP. And the last one on here is an upgrade from an old build that I did a long time ago that I wanted to include because I was just running it myself and having fun with it, and I changed it up and I love it. And this is the Faith, Fire, and Frost build. This is a really cool and unique build that uses Fire, Faith, of course, Flame Art Affinity, as well as a Cold Affinity offhand Katana. Another dual Katana build, really cool one. You can get the frost procs and then, of course, on-proc it with the fire part. It's not the most logical way to fight bosses because usually the debuff is quite good. We're going to get another frost proc here. I think we get 2 in total. There's the frost proc there, and then reset it with fire. And then that's pretty much how it works. It's just going for chunk damage. It's a little bit of a lesser damage than bleed type build because really what you're going for is percentage damage here. Most fights you'll get around 2 procs, maybe 3 in total, but overall you also get a lot of damage, especially from your Flame Art Katana, and you could run this setup as a Faith build. This is really a cool one overall that I did a long time ago a video for. We're talking probably a year and a half ago at least. Really awesome way to run Fire and Faith, of course, as well as then having that Cold Affinity offhand Katana. That's not going to do a ton of damage, but it's going to give you a decent amount of frost buildup and a fun way to run Faith. We have the Flame Art Nagakiba, plus 25, preferably Flaming Strike. Cold Uchi Katana, we've got it with Chilling Mist. We have the Godslayer Seal. You can check out the armor set there, 64 poise. Shard of Alexander, Fire Scorpion Charm, Blisson's Prosthesis. We have the Claw Talisman, Thorny Tier, Flame Tier. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 23 Mind, 28 Endurance, 18 Strength, 27 Dexterity, 60 Faith. We are using Golden Vow, Halash Rabiri, Blessings of the Erd Tree, and then Black Flame, of course, with the Godslayer Seal. That will go really well, give you a good amount of damage. That's on my all-time list of favorite builds for sure. Thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning into my top 9 most fun and overpowered builds. For those that didn't get their build requests this week, I will try to do them for next week, this upcoming week. If you have any more build requests, be sure to comment below. I have a lot of fun doing these. If you're not subbed yet, be sure to sub too. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like Elden Ring. And of course, Night Rain content that's going to be upcoming again. Can't wait for DLC for that later in the year. And the TARDIS edition of those, so far, it's not looking too good on the Switch too. You can look that up. It's pretty crazy. I'll catch you guys in the next video.